What's going on? This is Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talk. Indiana Fever just torched the Chicago Sky 100-81. It should have been about 105 110. But when the starters got off the court, the backups were just god awful. So we'll let that go. Great game by Caitlin Clark. Great game by Kelsey Mitchell. Aaliyah Boston had troubles tonight, but she did okay. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. So she filled up that stat line, had a block as well, no turnovers. But she just weren't scoring points. She had problems scoring in the paint for some reason tonight. It was just not a good look. NaLyssa Smith had a good game tonight. I wish they could have went to her a little bit more. I really don't like to see her on the outside shooting 3 points. She was 1 or 2 tonight, but that's not her thing. I want to see her play strong in the post and in the paint. She was 5 for 8 from the floor, ended up with 14 points, 7 rebounds, had 3 turnovers, but that is what it is. Kelsey Mitchell continues to do Kelsey Mitchell things. 23 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Yeah, she was making her shots when she got them. 9 for 13 from the floor, 60% from three-point land, 3 out of 5. So you can't really ask for much more than that with Kelsey Mitchell. Caitlin Clark took off in the second half, 8 for 14 from the floor, 5 out of 9 from three-point. So she was good for deep. She was good from deep, and it showed up. Got to the free throw line, 12 assists, 4 rebounds, had a steal, only had 3 turnovers. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, if she is less than 5, all is well in the world. So she had a good thing. A couple of coaching points when it comes to Caitlin Clark, and this is a personal thing with me. I wish she didn't argue with the refs so damn much, because to me, I'm like, stop crying. You torching them. You've been balling. You already know you've been in basketball long enough. You're not going to get all the calls. And we need not get into the conversation about these refs. The refs were bad again for both teams. Horrible calls on both sides. So there was no slant in the officiating one way or the other. I didn't see at all Chicago getting any home cooking, because it just wasn't working that way. But she had a good game, 31 points, 4 rebounds, 12 assists. So she filled up that stat line and got it done. Dantas, I'm starting to like her more and more. 9 points, 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 2 from deep. Lexi Hall showed up again, 11 points, 3 for 6 from the floor, 3 for 4 from deep. That's what she got to do. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. She played really good defense. I know it had to be about 2 or 3 times where she almost got the steal, where she knocked the ball loose, but the offensive player managed to get the ball back. So she was active, and that's all I want from Lexi Hall. If she can give me 10 to 15 points in a game, I'm not expecting that from her. So that's bonus. So good job by Lexi Hall, and she is showing that she deserves to be the starter over Katie Lou Samuelson, over Wallace, and even over Dantas. But Dantas came in and played solid minutes, so I can't get mad at that. She's a big body. She's hard to move down low, and she can hit the outside threes and the mid-range shots. Still don't know why Caitlin Clark doesn't want to shoot mid-range shots, but it is what it is. When you're winning, it's nitpicking. When you're losing, it's complaining. So, but good game by Indiana. Not too much to say. They did everything they had to do. They got the big lead. They tried to give it up a couple times, but this is how you want to end the game. So there's no misunderstanding who was the best team on the court. And they're going to need to tighten that up the closer they get to the playoffs, because it's going to be harder and harder. They still miss a lot of shots in the paint. Tammy Fack Bentley and Leah Boston were so frustrating tonight in the paint. When you 6'5" and 6'6", and you get the ball under the rim, you have to convert that. And I said it about 3 times tonight on my live stream. When Aaliyah Boston gets the ball in the paint and she has to dribble the ball more than 3 times, more than likely she is going to turn the ball over. She is not a good dribbler or ball handler, especially down by the paint, and she gets herself so low trying to dribble that when she comes back up, that gives everybody times to raise their hand and grab for the ball, and it ends up being a jump ball, or she loses it right under the rim. So that's a blown opportunity under the rim. I think they gave up, I want to say, like 20-something points in the paint. And when I say in the paint, I'm talking about specifically under the rim, inside that little arc under the rim. When you 6'3" and above, that should be automatic. Every now and then, somebody's going to contest, somebody might block, but for the most part, that's the highest percentage shot that you should have And Aaliyah Boston is not getting it done. In fact, Bentley played some good defense on Angel Reese, had her frustrated for a little bit. But on the offensive side, I expect more from Fact Bentley. You've got to convert those opportunities in the paint. Period. Chicago, I don't know what Teresa Weatherspoon was thinking about. Lindsay Allen came out in that first quarter and she was on fire. You gave her the ball like 1 or 2 times in the second period. And in the whole second half, she didn't touch the ball. She didn't get 1 shot in the second half. And I'm like, what are you doing? That's who you had to go to because she had the hot hand. Banham was pretty good tonight with 14 points. Michaela had 20 points. Angel Reese had 10 points. And that was kind of, I won't say bogus, but I kind of get at the arched eyebrow because they shut her down and kept her to 5 points in the first half. Second half come around. She had 7 points with 3 minutes to go. Indiana takes out their starters and they still feeding the Angel Reese so she can get her double-double. So tonight's double-double was a little suspect in my opinion, but it is what it is. Not the first time and not going to be the last. Diamond DeShields was pretty good, but just, I can't even say pretty good. She only had 6 points. She had almost fouled out. Nah, she was pedestrian tonight. I take that back. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. That's pedestrian for her. Harrison, 4 points. Dana Evans, 2 points. They didn't get much off their bench tonight. Cardoso had 6 points, but she had 10 rebounds. Lindsay Allen ended up with 19 points, and they just stopped going to her. She was the hot hand tonight. She was clearly the hot hand tonight. She had 10 points in the first period, and they did not go to her for the rest of the game. That's a damn shame. Especially when you're talking about Kennedy Carter is out. So you got to go with whoever is putting the ball in the bucket. And for whatever reason, they didn't do that. Her substitutions were suspect. So yeah, just not a good coached game by Teresa Weatherspoon at all. Diamond DeShields got frustrated at the end. She ended up with no points. So, I'm sorry, 6 points, but she almost fouled out. She got 2 fouls in like 30 seconds trying to keep Caitlin Clark from cutting underneath. And they called her on it. She was completely blocking her pass. She was in the air. So she was moving. So it was just at a point where she was just frustrated because Indiana put it on them. They put it on them. So if Indiana keeps playing like this, you got to continue this momentum as you go into the playoffs. And they might be able to do something. So we'll see what's going to happen. They look pretty good. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm trying to find out who's next. You've got Indiana Sunday. Indiana is in Dallas. That'll be a good game against Enrique. That'll be a solid game. Indiana goes to 16-16, so they are at 500. So yeah, they are playing quite well after the Olympic break, and they are a team to be. You got to watch them. You got to watch them. Indiana's not necessarily a team you want to face in the playoffs. Got some things they got to tighten up. They can get better, and now the question comes up. A lot of people have wanted to see Christy Sides gone at the end of the year. How do you get rid of Christy Sides with what she's doing right now? How do you do that? If you're going to criticize her when they was losing games, she got to get some of the credit when they winning, because it's not Christy Sides' fault that they missing shots in the paint. It's not Christy Sides' fault that Aaliyah Boston can't convert under the rim. That's not her fault. They don't practice that during the week. So if you're going to criticize her and rip her when they losing, you got to give her the praise when they winning. So that'll be a very interesting story to follow, what they're going to do in the offseason when it comes to Christy Sides. I think they might need a new coach, but can you justify getting rid of your coach that takes you to the playoffs? Now, the next argument will be, was it Christy Sides or was it Caitlin Clark? Players win games, but now she's comfortable with the team she's got. She's starting to make the right moves, not making the same mistakes, putting the people on the court that need to be on the court, things of that nature. So it's looking better for her, but we'll see how she does in the playoffs.